There is a version of you that does not hesitate. It does not ask for permission. It does not wait for approval. It moves with clarity, not rushed, not emotional, not uncertain, just precise. Most people will never reach this state, not because it is impossible, but because it is uncomfortable. It requires letting go of the need to be liked. It requires standing alone without explanation. It requires silence when the world expects noise, and that is where most people stop. They choose comfort over control. They adjust themselves to fit expectations. They soften their words. They dilute their thoughts. They hesitate at the edge of action. Not because they lack ability, but because they fear becoming different. They fear becoming difficult to understand, difficult to predict, difficult to influence. But that is exactly what makes a person dangerous. Not aggression, not dominance, control. A dangerous person is not loud. They do not announce their strength. They do not argue to prove a point. They do not react to every situation. They observe, they think, they decide. And when they act, it is intentional. This kind of power does not seek attention. It avoids it, because attention creates pressure, and pressure weakens clarity. So they move quietly, not hidden, but not exposed. They understand something most people ignore, that energy is limited, and where you place it determines who you become. So they stop wasting it on arguments that lead nowhere, on people who do not matter. They withdraw, not out of fear, but out of discipline. This is not isolation. This is selection. Choosing where to invest your focus, your time, your attention. Because once those are scattered, control is lost. And without control, there is no power. To become dangerous is to become disciplined, to remove excess, to eliminate noise, to see clearly what is essential and what is distraction. This is not a transformation that happens quickly. It is built slowly, through awareness, through restraint, through repeated choices that most people avoid. You will begin to notice the shift. You will speak less, but your words will carry more weight. You will react less, but your presence will become stronger. You will explain less, but your direction will become clearer. And over time, people will feel it. Not because you told them, but because you no longer need to. This is the quiet power of becoming dangerous, not to others, but to everything that once controlled you. Your reactions define your reality, not the events themselves, not what others do, not what happens outside of you. The world will always be unpredictable. It is volatile, chaotic, impossible to control. Most people forget this truth. They believe their anger, their frustration, their despair comes from the circumstances themselves. It does not. It comes from how they respond, from how they interpret, from the meaning they attach. A minor insult can explode into days of resentment. A delayed message can spiral into anxiety. A failure can transform into a self-identity. None of these things are inherently powerful. Their effect depends entirely on the mind. Your mind is the battlefield. And the first rule of mastery is this: do not allow yourself to be controlled by impulses. Control is not about suppression. It is about awareness. It begins with observation. Notice your physical reactions, the tightening of your chest, the quickening of your heartbeat, the urge to speak, to defend, to attack. Notice your thoughts, the story your mind is telling, the assumptions it makes, the judgments it constructs, and then pause. Even a brief pause changes everything, because the moment you pause, you insert freedom between stimulus and action. Most people skip this pause. They react instantly. They hand their power to the moment. The Stoic mind refuses this. It pauses, not to deliberate endlessly, not to procrastinate, just enough to decide what matters here, and then, where can I act that will serve me? This is the essence of control. The world will push you. It will provoke you. It will attempt to ignite reactions you do not intend. If you allow it, your anger, your frustration, your fear are all tools the world uses to distract you from clarity. Do not give them that leverage. Reactions are contagious. Anger begets anger. Fear begets fear. Confusion begets confusion. Every uncontrolled reaction draws you into the chaos. And the chaos is exhausting. It consumes attention. It consumes energy. It consumes your mind. The controlled mind, however, is self-contained. It observes the chaos. It interprets without attachment. It acts with intention. This requires training. Control does not appear spontaneously. It is built like a muscle. You must practice restraint, practice patience, practice neutrality, and you must accept one harsh truth. You will fail. Your impulses will overpower you. Your anger will flare. Your frustration will rise. Do not hate yourself for it. Observe it. Learn from it. Notice the triggers. Every trigger is a lesson. Why did it affect you so deeply? What value does it attach to this event? Why does it feel urgent? Most people never ask these questions. They react first and analyze never, and that is why they remain enslaved. The Stoic mind asks, is this necessary? Not rhetorically, not for show. Internally, sincerely, is this thought necessary? Is this emotion necessary? Is this reaction necessary? If not, it is discarded. And in the discarding, freedom arises. Discipline is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of attention. It is the ability to feel deeply without being carried away. It is the ability to act decisively without being blinded by impulse. And here lies a subtle but powerful truth. Can build mountains of weakness. Control is cumulative. Every pause, every measured response, every observation adds to resilience, adds to clarity, adds to influence. And here is an advanced aspect. Control allows strategic vulnerability. When you are fully in command of your reactions, you can choose when to show emotion, not because you are deceiving, but because you are intentional. A calm response in a critical moment can convey authority. A measured disagreement can shift perspectives. A controlled expression of anger can communicate seriousness without losing composure. This is a mark of danger. The dangerous mind is feared not for brutality, but for precision, because precision cannot be predicted. It cannot be manipulated. It cannot be provoked easily. And yet another layer exists. The mind that masters reactions learns to observe the reactions of others. It notices patterns. It predicts behaviors. It acts with foresight. The world, full of uncontrolled impulses, becomes legible. You begin to move through life without unnecessary friction, without wasted energy, without chaos dictating your pace. And in this observation, you find empathy as well. A person who controls themselves can understand others without judgment, not to excuse harm, but to anticipate responses, to act effectively. This is an advanced Stoic skill. Action guided by insight, not by emotion. Your responses are measured, not reactionary, and as mastery grows, you notice one final truth. The greatest control is invisible. The mind that commands itself does not need to announce it. Others feel it without seeing the effort. They sense the calm authority, the unshakable presence, the dangerous clarity. And it is dangerous precisely because it is silent, because it does not need conflict to assert strength, because it does not need approval to assert identity, because it moves freely while the uncontrolled stumble. Every moment of restraint is a moment of strength accumulated. Every decision to pause is a choice to remain free. Every observation without reaction is a refusal to be manipulated. And this is the foundation of the Stoic dangerous mind. It is quiet, it is calm, it is relentless in self-mastery. No loud threats, no displays of force, no desperate attempts to dominate. Just control, just awareness, just the understanding that reactions are the true currency of life. Master them, and the world becomes navigable. Ignore them, and the world will navigate you. The choice is yours. Every day, every interaction, every impulse. Will you act blindly, or will you act consciously? Will you react to life, or will you master it? Approval is a subtle chain. It wraps around the mind, not as iron, but as silk, soft, invisible, yet binding. Most people live their lives bending to the expectations of others. They adjust their speech, they adjust their posture, They adjust their thoughts. They perform endlessly to maintain acceptance. And in this pursuit, they lose themselves. Their decisions are no longer theirs. Their emotions are dictated by the applause. Their self-worth is tethered to external validation. This is weakness. Dangerous people do not seek approval, not because they are arrogant, not because they are indifferent, but because they understand a fundamental truth. Approval is fleeting. People's opinions shift like sand. Their admiration is conditional. Their praise is temporary. Their criticism is unpredictable. If your sense of self depends on them, you are perpetually unstable. Detach from it. Do not confuse this detachment with cruelty or with indifference to humanity. You care, you observe, you interact, but your center does not move with every smile or frown. This begins with awareness. Notice the moments when your thoughts twist to please others. Notice the silent question, will they like me? When it arises, pause. Ask yourself, do I seek this for their sake or for mine? Most seek it for their own peace, but they confuse external acceptance with internal calm. True calm comes from self-alignment, not crowd alignment. Detach incrementally. Start with minor interactions. Speak the truth, even if it risks disapproval. Express a preference, even if it contradicts the majority. Hold a boundary, even if it causes tension. These small acts are invisible rebellions. Each one strengthens you. Each one sharpens your inner core. People will react. Some will admire, some will resent, some will challenge. Observe without attachment. Their reactions are theirs, not yours. Do not internalize them. Do not let them dictate your next move. And understand this. The need to be liked is often rooted in fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of isolation. Fear of conflict. We all fear these things. But the dangerous mind learns to face them calmly. You will be rejected. You will face conflict. You will encounter disagreement. These are not threats. They are tests. Tests of clarity, tests of integrity, tests of freedom. When you respond from alignment, not from fear, you become unshakable. Others may attempt to manipulate you through charm or criticism. They will appeal to your desire for acceptance. They will attempt to coerce compliance through praise or guilt. Recognize it, and let it pass. Do not participate in their scripts. Do not allow yourself to be written into their story. You write your own. This detachment also cultivates respect. Not forced respect, not superficial admiration, but genuine acknowledgement. People notice clarity, they notice boundaries, they notice composure. And composure is magnetic. It signals confidence, not arrogance. It signals power, not aggression. Detachment does not mean isolation. It means presence. Presence without need. Presence without compromise. Presence that influences, silently. When you stop seeking approval, you reclaim your energy. You redirect it toward growth, toward mastery, toward self-discovery. You stop adjusting to others' narratives. You stop bending to social pressure, and you begin to create from your own center. Your thoughts become sharper. Your decisions become more deliberate. Your actions become more precise. Even mistakes transform. They are no longer catastrophes because they are chosen. They are experiences, not judgments. This detachment also changes relationships. Connections formed from authenticity are stronger than those formed from compliance. People sense truth, they sense integrity, they sense the absence of hidden motives, and they are drawn to it. Detachment is not rejection, it is selection, choosing interactions that matter, choosing voices that elevate, choosing values that endure. It allows you to invest only where it produces value. And here is the subtle paradox. When you stop seeking to be liked, you become inherently likable. Not to everyone, not superficially, but to those who matter. And the dangerous mind understands one more layer. Social norms are tools, not chains. Society creates expectations to maintain order, but these expectations are not universal truths. Blind compliance is surrender. Conscious compliance is strategy. You may conform externally when it serves a purpose, but internally, you remain sovereign. Every choice to conform must be deliberate. Every acquiescence must be conscious, never automatic, never driven by fear of disapproval. Detach from the need to be liked, and you detach from manipulation. The world is full of those who attempt to shape others through social pressure, praise, and disapproval. The untrained mind obeys, the trained mind observes. And in observation, it retains freedom. Detach also clarifies priorities. You spend less time chasing validation. You spend less time negotiating perception. You spend less time being distracted by approval. Instead, you allocate energy to what matters: skill, discipline, insight, strategy. Detachment sharpens judgment. It allows perspective. It creates mental distance. From this distance, decisions are rational, actions are intentional, presence is steady. And one final insight: detachment is not permanent withdrawal. It is the freedom to engage fully, without compromise. It is the power to connect without losing yourself. It is the strength to stand in truth, even when unliked. This is how you become dangerous, not through fear or aggression, but through independence. Not through chaos, but through deliberate composure. Not by bending to others, but by aligning with yourself. Approval will come and go. Rejection will come and go. Neither will control you if you have learned the art of detachment. The dangerous mind is free from approval, and in that freedom, it moves through the world like a force that cannot be predicted, cannot be manipulated, and cannot be broken. It is quiet, it is subtle, it is unstoppable. The path is not easy. You will feel discomfort, you will face tension, you will encounter resistance. But the discomfort is growth, the tension is refinement, the resistance is preparation. Detach from the need to be liked, and you detach from weakness. Detach from the need to be liked, and you reclaim power. Detach from the need to be liked, and you become truly dangerous. The world is unpredictable. It does not follow logic. It does not follow fairness. It does not wait for you. Yet most people attempt the impossible: to control circumstances. They attempt to control outcomes. They attempt to control others. They attempt to control events that are beyond influence. This is a fundamental error. Every wasted effort to control the uncontrollable leads to frustration, anger, disappointment, exhaustion. The dangerous mind learns this truth early. Control begins within. It begins with the mind. A disciplined mind recognizes, I cannot change what others do. I cannot dictate the flow of events. I cannot prevent chaos. But I can shape how I perceive it. I can shape how I respond. I can shape the energy I bring into it. Control is an internal art. It is neither visible nor dramatic. It is subtle, invisible, quietly unstoppable. Notice your thoughts. Observe the automatic reactions that arise, the assumptions, the judgments, the expectations. These mental patterns are the foundation of either freedom or enslavement. Untrained, the mind is a slave. Every insult becomes personal. Every obstacle becomes unbearable. Every change becomes a crisis. Trained, the mind is a master. Every insult becomes data. Every obstacle becomes a lesson. Every change becomes an opportunity. Control the mind, and the world cannot unseat you. Begin with observation. Notice the stories your mind tells. Notice the judgments it passes. Notice the compulsions it creates. Then question them. Are these thoughts true? Are they necessary? Do they serve me? Most thoughts do not. Most thoughts are repetitions. From habit, fragments of other people's expectations. Discard the unnecessary. This is not denial. This is clarity. Next, direct attention deliberately. Your mind is the instrument. Where you place it, energy flows. Do not scatter it on trivial matters. Do not surrender it to distractions. Every thought invested wisely builds precision, builds resilience, builds insight. And every thought left unchecked builds confusion, builds distraction, builds weakness. Control also requires timing. Not every moment demands intervention. Some require patience. Some require silence. Some require observation. A mind in control knows the difference between impulse and necessity. This timing applies to emotions as well. Fear, anger, desire, longing, all are natural. Suppress none, reject none. But do not allow them to dictate action. Notice them, understand them, redirect them if needed. Every uncontrolled emotion is a drain. Every redirected emotion is fuel. The dangerous mind is not emotionless. It is intentional. It converts energy into strategy. It converts reaction into action. It converts chaos into clarity. Another aspect of control, detachment from outcomes. The untrained mind clings to results. It fears failure. It obsesses over success. It measures self-worth by external markers. The disciplined mind focuses on effort, on preparation, on mastery of process. Outcomes become secondary. Because outcomes are never guaranteed. The only guarantee is effort applied wisely. This creates a paradoxical power. When you detach from outcomes, your actions are sharper, your decisions are freer, your presence is stronger. You act fully, without hesitation. You do not overthink the consequences. From challenge, the world may still resist you. It may oppose you. It may punish you. But internally, you remain sovereign. Control the mind, and you are unbreakable. Consider distraction. Most minds are occupied by trivialities, by gossip, opinion, and noise, by worry about what cannot be changed. A dangerous mind filters relentlessly. It removes clutter. It removes irrelevance. It focuses only on what matters. This is not minimalism for show. It is strategic. It is essential. The mind, like a river, can be muddied by unchecked streams of thought. Clear it, focus it, channel it. Control the mind, and clarity becomes a weapon. With clarity, decisions become simple. Actions become efficient. Presence becomes undeniable. Notice also the power of self-talk. The words you speak internally shape perception, shape belief, shape reaction. A mind in control chooses language that is precise, that is empowering, that reflects reality, not fear. Internal narratives like, "I cannot do this," or "I am at the mercy of others," weaken resolve. Replace them with, "I observe this clearly. I choose my response. I am free in my action." The subtle shift transforms behavior. It transforms presence. It transforms power. Another layer, selective focus. The mind can only fully hold so much. Attention is finite. Waste it on the uncontrollable, and you weaken yourself. Invest it on what you can influence, and you grow. A person who masters this becomes magnetic, not because they dominate, but because they move through life with unmatched efficiency. The world notices difference. They sense composure. They sense purpose. They sense alignment. And alignment is a quiet form of power. Control the mind, and you reduce vulnerability. Most vulnerability is self-inflicted. By reaction, by desire, by fear. Eliminate it, and you become untouchable in the subtle ways that matter most. Even in chaos, you remain calm. Even in challenge, you remain steady. Even in opposition, you remain directed. Another critical dimension, awareness of bias. The mind is prone to illusion, to distortion, to selective attention. A dangerous mind identifies these traps. It questions assumptions. It evaluates evidence. It observes patterns objectively. Control the mind, and you sharpen judgment. You reduce error. You avoid manipulation. Finally, control includes foresight. You cannot predict everything, but a disciplined mind recognizes probabilities. It observes trends. It calculates impact. It acts strategically. You respond, not react. You influence, not surrender. You shape, not chase. The ultimate mastery of the mind is the freedom to act. Freedom to decide, freedom to observe, freedom to remain aligned, regardless of circumstance. The mind becomes a fortress, not for isolation, but for unshakable clarity, and clarity attracts opportunity. Because in chaos, others flounder. In distraction, others weaken. In confusion, others falter. But you, who control your mind, move like a quiet current, precise and inevitable. The world reacts to you, not because you force it, but because you exist in alignment it cannot predict. And that is the essence of danger. Not chaos, not aggression, not domination. Relentless, invisible power of a mind fully commanded. Every decision, every observation, every action, rooted in clarity, rooted in calm, rooted in control. You do not fight the world. You do not resist life. You move through it with exactness. And in that movement, others cannot influence you. Others cannot predict you. Others cannot unseat you. Control your mind, not the world, because the world will never obey, but the mind will. Comfort is seductive. It whispers softly. It tells you that ease is safety. It tells you that avoidance is wisdom. Most people obey. They arrange their lives to minimize friction. They avoid confrontation. They avoid challenge. They avoid reflection that is uncomfortable. But the dangerous mind understands. Discomfort is a guide. It is a teacher. It is a signal pointing toward growth. Every sensation of unease is an invitation. Unease in thought, unease in emotion, unease in action. These are not punishments. They are opportunities. Most people flee discomfort. They chase pleasure. They cling to approval. They distract themselves endlessly. In doing so, they weaken. The dangerous mind does the opposite. It leans in. It faces the unease. It analyzes it. It integrates it. It asks, what is this trying to show me? And often the answer is hidden in subtle layers. Fear of confrontation? It is a signal to strengthen resolve. Physical strain? It is an opportunity to build endurance. Mental resistance? It is a call to expand perception. Embrace discomfort, and you dismantle weakness. But this is not a reckless embrace. The dangerous mind is strategic. It does not seek pain for vanity. It does not endure suffering for spectacle. It selects discomfort with purpose. Purpose sharpens every lesson. Discomfort, when chosen deliberately, becomes a training ground. Your mind learns, your body learns, your character learns. The subtlety is this. Growth occurs at the edge of discomfort. Beyond the familiar, beyond the safe, beyond the predictable. They circle around it, always hesitating, always rationalizing, always retreating. The dangerous mind steps forward. It does not seek applause. It does not fear judgment. It seeks mastery. And mastery requires confrontation. With truth, with self, with reality. Discomfort reveals limitations. It exposes assumptions. It uncovers illusions. It challenges beliefs. The untrained mind resists these revelations. It denies them. It rationalizes them. It blames circumstances. The dangerous mind welcomes them. It examines the hidden cracks. It identifies weakness without shame. It converts vulnerability into insight. Discomfort also teaches patience. Most of life's lessons are not immediate. They arrive gradually, through sustained tension, through repeated exposure, through subtle nudges over time. The dangerous mind does not demand instant mastery. It endures, it observes, it accumulates wisdom silently. Discomfort fosters resilience, physical discomfort, emotional discomfort, cognitive discomfort. Every encounter with resistance strengthens the capacity to endure. And endurance is not passive. It is active, intentional, deliberate. The dangerous mind moves through difficulty with purpose. It does not collapse under pressure. It does not react impulsively. It does not waste energy resisting the inevitable. Instead, it channels force. It adapts. It calculates. It acts precisely. Discomfort also reveals priorities. When faced with challenge, the mind clarifies what truly matters. Trivialities fall away. Attachments dissolve. Essentials emerge. This is one of the hidden advantages of discomfort. Clarity under pressure. Most people cannot see clearly because they have never tested themselves. The dangerous mind tests continuously. Small acts of discomfort in daily life create cumulative strength. Facing minor frustrations deliberately prepares the mind for major challenges. A disciplined mind trains for resistance as the body trains for strength. It creates a margin of safety against life's unpredictability. Consider also the teaching of impermanence. Discomfort reminds you that nothing lasts forever. Pleasure, comfort, and ease are transient. So are pain, resistance, and struggle. The dangerous mind accepts this flux. It does not cling to comfort. It does not fear difficulty. It moves fluidly with reality. Discomfort also develops humility. It exposes ego. It challenges entitlement. It reveals where control is illusory. The untrained mind interprets every challenge as personal attack. The dangerous mind interprets it as necessary insight. It asks, what can I learn here? What is beyond my perception? How can I respond effectively? This transforms suffering into opportunity. It transforms resistance into training. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Discomfort also cultivates courage, not the loud, visible courage that seeks attention, but the quiet courage of persistence, reflection, and deliberate action. Each small step into unease builds a habit of bravery. The dangerous mind faces rejection without fear. It speaks truth without tremor. It moves forward without guarantee. And here is another subtle layer. Discomfort teaches adaptability. Life does not conform to expectation. Circumstances change, people act unpredictably, plans fail. The dangerous mind anticipates variation. It trains in discomfort to navigate uncertainty. It learns flexibility without losing center. In doing so, it converts potential chaos into manageable variables, becomes resilient. The spirit becomes unyielding. Every deliberate encounter with discomfort creates a stronger, sharper, and more dangerous version of you. And the final insight: embrace discomfort not only as a reaction to life, but as a proactive tool. Seek minor challenges intentionally, engage tasks that stretch ability, explore ideas that disturb certainty, confront fears in controlled, conscious ways. The dangerous mind does not wait for adversity to find it. It seeks growth through deliberate tension. It understands the world is never fully comfortable. To wait for ease is to remain weak. To choose discomfort strategically is to build mastery. The most powerful people do not exist in comfort. They exist at the edges of challenge, at the intersections of risk and discipline, at the threshold of discomfort where clarity is born. Do not fear discomfort, do not avoid it. Observe it, analyze it, integrate it, move through it with precision. And with each step, you will notice transformation. Your body will endure more. Your mind will focus sharper. Your emotions will stabilize. Your character will deepen. And slowly, imperceptibly, you become dangerous. Not by force, not by cruelty, not by chaos, but by strength born of intentional resistance, by clarity forged in unease, by mastery cultivated through discomfort. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your most effective teacher. The dangerous mind embraces it fully, and in that embrace, nothing can derail it, nothing can manipulate it, nothing can diminish it. This is the power of discomfort. This is the quiet forge of the dangerous mind. Time is the most silent force. It moves without notice. It does not pause for hesitation. It does not wait for preparation. Yet, most people treat it carelessly. They squander hours on trivialities. They defer action. They delay reflection. They hand over minutes to distraction, habit, or the approval of others. And in doing so, they surrender power. The dangerous mind treats time as sacred. Every moment is deliberate. Every choice is conscious. Every action aligns with purpose. Time is a weapon, not a resource to waste. It cannot be stored. It cannot be regained. It only flows forward, inexorably. To own your time is to own yourself. Begin with awareness. Observe how you spend your days. How many hours are lost to noise, to distraction, to tasks that do not serve mastery? Notice the patterns. Notice the emptiness you tolerate. Then decide which minutes deserve your focus, which conversations demand presence, which tasks yield growth, insight, or strength. The dangerous mind is ruthless in this selection. It eliminates what is superficial. It ignores what is irrelevant. It prioritizes what builds competence. It dedicates itself to what cultivates depth. Time, when controlled, becomes multiplicative. Minutes invested intentionally compound into mastery. Knowledge expands, skill refines, composure strengthens, but time lost is irreversible. Every moment spent in trivial pursuit cannot return. Every idle thought, every meaningless interaction, every distraction erodes clarity. The dangerous mind refuses this erosion. It treats its schedule as a map, not a suggestion. It does not fill days randomly. It fills them with strategy, not to linger in indecision. Afternoon moments become opportunities to refine, not to drift aimlessly. Even stillness becomes training. Meditation, reflection, observation. All are invested. All are deliberate. All are weapons in the pursuit of sovereignty. Time also teaches patience. The untrained mind seeks instant results. It desires rapid change. It fears slow progress. The dangerous mind understands. Mastery, growth, insight, these are gradual. They are forged slowly. They cannot be rushed. Patience is not inaction. It is strategic timing. It is understanding the rhythm of cause and effect. The mind that controls time chooses when to act and when to wait. It understands momentum. It leverages preparation. It avoids squandered effort. Consider also the power of reflection. Time invested in observing one's thoughts, actions, and choices creates clarity that cannot be bought. Most people rush through life without evaluating the consequences of their decisions. They repeat mistakes. They drift with opinion. They surrender to habit. The dangerous mind stops. It reviews. It analyzes. It extracts lessons. Reflection transforms experience into intelligence. Action without reflection is blind. Reflection without action is idle. Time controlled unites both. Another essential layer, strategic isolation. Time is often stolen by others' agendas, by noise, distraction, and external expectation. The dangerous mind protects its time through deliberate separation. It chooses solitude. It chooses moments away from influence. It chooses clarity over crowd. Solitude is not loneliness. It is the crucible where insight forms. Without it, the mind weakens. Without it, perception blurs. Without it, action becomes reactive. With it, the mind is sovereign. The mind becomes sharp. The body becomes aligned. The spirit becomes focused. Time also teaches value. Every hour wasted demonstrates the fragility of awareness. Every hour invested demonstrates the strength of discipline. The dangerous mind measures life by intentional allocation, not by external validation. It understands that influence is strongest when applied precisely. Time mismanaged is influence diluted. Time mastered is influence concentrated. Consider commitment to long-term vision. Most are seduced by immediate gratification, by temporary reward, by fleeting approval. The dangerous mind prioritizes enduring impact. It invests hours in skill, strategy, and understanding. It cultivates mastery silently. It moves steadily toward purpose. The world may not notice. The masses may not appreciate. But when the moment arrives, all preparation manifests as unmatched capability. Time controlled becomes power unseen. Every choice, every hour, every minute serves a larger architecture of self-mastery. Even adversity becomes a test of time management. When chaos strikes, the dangerous mind does not panic. It reorders priorities. It adapts strategies. It maximizes influence in every circumstance. Control of time also extends to perception. The mind perceives hours as abundant or scarce. This perception drives behavior. The untrained mind sees scarcity. It panics, it rushes, it wastes energy. The dangerous mind sees opportunity. It allocates calmly. It multiplies effect. It conserves energy. Every day becomes deliberate. Every moment intentional. Every action aligned. The dangerous mind also understands the finality of time. Life is limited. The clock never pauses. Death is certain. This awareness is not morbid. It is clarifying. It compels discipline. It strengthens courage. The dangerous mind treats each moment as precious. It moves with efficiency. It speaks with precision. It acts with purpose. It avoids indulgence in triviality. It avoids surrender to distraction. It avoids compromise of attention. And in this, it becomes unstoppable. Time-controlled transforms character. It builds discipline. It builds clarity. It builds resilience. It strengthens judgment. It enhances perception. It solidifies presence. When combined with the previous rules, detachment from approval, mental control, and embracing discomfort, time becomes the final weapon. The dangerous mind moves through life with a composure that others cannot match. It is invisible in its preparation. It is unstoppable in its execution. It is untouchable in its focus. The ultimate danger lies not in aggression, nor in chaos, nor in destruction. It lies in mastery, in deliberate action, in alignment. Own your time, and you own the arena of life itself. Do not let minutes slip unnoticed. Do not surrender hours to distraction. Shape them, guide them, invest them with intention. The culmination of discipline, detachment, mental mastery, and embrace of discomfort finds its apex in the control of time. And when these elements unite, you move through the world with clarity, precision, and unstoppable presence. The quiet, invisible force of a mind that masters itself, embraces challenge, and commands time is more dangerous than any weapon, any speech, any act of force. It is a power unseen, unpredictable, unmatched. Own your time, own your mind, own your choices, and in that ownership, you become truly dangerous.